Hello, and nice to have you here in Vienna for the Neurotrauma Treatment Simulation Center.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for giving us time to answer these few questions. I would like to start to ask you to tell us a few words about yourself and your background and focus in your practice.
We both work in the same hospital. For me, I work as a neurologist on a neurology department at our hospital, more with patients with multiple sclerosis. But we also, I also work at the ward and intensive care unit at neurology.
And in which city?
Prešov. It's in the east of Slovakia, the third largest city in the country.
And my name is Dominik Kobák, and I work in a traumatology department in the same hospital as my colleague, and I'm a resident doctor there.
Okay. Are you satisfied with the management of neurotrauma in your country?
I think that there are few things that should be improved. First of all, I would say we lack some specialized traumatological center or some place where the patients would be taken care of by more specialists at one place on one bed. In our hospital, we have we are working at the different places. Traumatology is in the other building, and then neurology. We don't have neurosurgery, so and as far as I know, it's common also in other cities in Slovakia. So.
Could you share and describe maybe a good example of a good practice regarding neurotrauma management in your institution? And if not possible to relate to your institution, particularly maybe in your country, if you have this kind of information.
Well, I think neurotrauma is managed quite good in our hospital. I can tell you an example of a typical neurotrauma. The patient usually, it depends if the patient is conscious or unconscious, and they are brought either, if they are conscious, they are brought to traumatology emergency room. If they are unconscious, they go straight to anesthesiology. Then of course they go through the CT and we evaluate with the radiologist the CT scan, and then the patient is admitted. And it is decided if we need to operate on. It depends on the type of the trauma, if we need to operate or the other management is then started.
I see. What is your opinion about the subject of the day here in our training? What is your opinion about an international TBI registry and the way it could impact the management of TBI?
So as also in other specialties, the registers are always needed, as it was said today and yesterday also, that if we want to treat a patient properly or manage the whole process of healing and rehabilitation of the patients, we need to have data. So as far as I know, we have no registry for trauma in Slovakia, or if we have, then it's not filled. So this, I think, would be helpful, because then we as doctors would have information that we can lean on.
I understand. Rely on.
Yes.
What is, in your opinion, the most important quality indicators in neurotrauma care?
I think this is the thing that if the whole management of neurotrauma in Slovakia would improve, then I think we would have better perspective on the indicators which would be the most suitable for the patient, since the patient is lost after being dismissed from hospital. I cannot say.
Track.
There is no track, so it's maybe hard for me to say. At our department, we as a neurologist mostly use the Rankin scale as indicators of quality of life of our patients. So that's it.
I see. We've been talking today, and everyone agreed about the importance of a multidisciplinary team. That is a quite vital asset in TBI management. From your point of view, what specialists should be included in such a TBI team, and why?
Well, as I was telling you before, in our hospital, the patient goes either to anesthesiology or traumatology, is then assessed by a CT scan that includes radiologist, and then is assessed by neurologist. So the ideal case would be that the patient would be brought to one room, like a crash room, and all of those specialists that I named, a traumatologist, anesthesiologist, neurologist, and radiologist maybe, they would meet at the patient and discuss the patient on the site. So I think those are the specialties that are important in the assessment of neurotrauma.
What about the obstacles in terms of collaboration in such a multidisciplinary team? From your point of view, could you identify, do you see any obstacles?
Well, probably that all of our departments aren't in one place. We don't have a crash room, like I mentioned before, and I think that's the biggest problem. Like in our hospital, neurology is in a different building, and they're together with anesthesiology. Traumatology is in different buildings, so I think space and that's the biggest problem.
Okay. How do you feel about an online community for people interested, actually for the doctors and the people interested in neurotrauma? Do you think it would be helpful for medical practice and research?
Yes, I think probably yes, because you can learn a lot in, let's say, sometimes you are not allowed to travel abroad or to abandon the work at the department at some particular time. So this forum, I think, is comfortable and can people have more chance to learn.
So it might lead to some good results and positive.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. What was the impact of COVID over the neurotrauma management in your country?
Well, I don't think it changed the management because of the pandemic. The accidents still happened. Maybe some minor traumas weren't discovered because people were afraid to come into hospitals, so they didn't come to hospital because they fell and hit their head and they had no trouble. But the management itself, we still operated, we still admitted patients that had to be admitted, so that didn't change.
What about in regarding the caseload of neurotrauma cases during the pandemic?
What do you mean exactly?
Did you see maybe a decrease of number of this kind of injuries?
Maybe
accidents?
Maybe
if
a
people
slight
stood
degree.
more inside?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there were less car accidents, but it was just a very slight decrease of the number. But people stayed more at home, and that includes elderly people. So maybe a slight increase in falls of the elderly at homes.
And our final question, if you are familiar with our organization, with the AMN, have you ever heard about it or participated in any of our previous conferences, congresses?
Me personally, not.
No. Okay. Hopefully we will see you. You will become a member of our community and also see you for the future on-site congresses. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.